Okay, we'll let people to join in the middle. But good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our Zoom and lunch conversation program. I know that sometimes it's difficult because it's in the middle of your day, but that's why we offer you to bring your lunch with you. For those who don't know me, my name is Baruven. I live in Tel Aviv. I'm the co-founder of the CAT 669 Alumni Association. I was its CEO for the last 5 years, and today I serve as its executive vice president. Some of you might heard what I'm going to say already in our last few conversations, but I will repeat shortly for new ones. Unit 669 is one of the 4 elite special units in the IDF, a unit that its people are risking their lives on a daily basis to rescue others. The unit is the combat search and rescue unit of the Israeli Air Force, and our job is to always be ready for call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ready for the worst to happen. Today, Unit 669 is active and serves as the safety net of the Israeli and Jewish people and deal with civilian rescues and combat military rescues inside Israel and, of course, abroad. At the association, we're trying to do our best we can to keep up the good work of Tikkun Olam. The 669 Alumni Association was founded of the same principles and values of the unit itself, which is helping others, embracing social responsibility, and contributing to the public good in order to make the country and its people stronger. Our mission is to help empower the unit's veterans to maximize the human capital, positively impacting not only their own future and community, but also to the Israeli society overall. In this program, we aim to bring you the most professional and interesting 669 alumni and educate you more about the importance of our people in their civilian life and after military work, and encourage you to deepen your involvement and support with our organization. Now, I have the honor to introduce you Nir Gez, a former soldier at Unit 669 and CAT Association member and a big and major supporter of ours. He is an Israeli entrepreneur and a businessman operating internationally and especially in Africa. He is a goodwill ambassador in Uganda. Nir was a free agent for 20 years for the US, and he will tell you about his personal and amazing and unbelievable story that when I heard it for the first time, I couldn't even believe that it's possible. So sit tight, Nir. Thank you for doing this, and the screen is yours.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, and good afternoon to everybody in the United States, and good evening to the Israeli viewer. First of all, it's a great pleasure for me to be part of any activity that 669 does. Since my younger age, I'm connected in my blood with 669. It's a unit that I love very much, and I'm definitely a supporter of your activities. And I think it's good not only for us, but for all the Jewish in the world. And thank you, Bar, for keeping that association so alive, since you are the CEO since you are the president of that association, and you are the engine behind that association. The association looks different completely. Thank you so much for your work. About me, I'm an Israeli born. I was born in a small village in the north part of Israel called Nir Yafeh. I was, I think, the first kid in the Moshav, one of the first kids in the Moshav, and that's why my parents was giving an Israeli name to the first Israeli boy born, and they call me Nir, and that's why I carry the name of the Moshav until today. After getting a draft for the military, I went to the officer school. After the officer school, I went and I was an officer in the 669. And I served about 5 years, a bit more than 5 years in the military. Then I was recruited to the Shabak, what we call the Israeli Secret Service, in the unit that protecting our Prime Minister. I worked with Prime Minister Menachem Begin, I think from 79 to 84. about 5 years. 83, he left. And then I worked a little bit with Shamir. And then I left and I went to Paris. In Paris, I was serving for 5 years at the head of the security services of the El Al company, as our national airlines in Paris. It was a very tough time. The older people in that room probably remember the 80s in Paris. It was not easy. There was no one day of relaxing, and there was not 1 hour of relaxing. And a young man that I see today how young I was, and to be responsible for all the flights that coming to Paris and taking off from Paris in that time was really, I think, the tougher job for us, for me, and for the family. But in the same time, it was the job that really, let's say, designed my future, helped me a lot for what I did in the rest of my life. Today, I'm a businessman. I work in Africa. I have a huge farm for vegetables. We have one of the bigger farms in Africa that we start to plant today, and I'm very happy for that. We growing tomato, cucumber, aubergine, and green and yellow pepper. Also, we are exporting a huge quantity of tobacco from Malawi. That's the main country where I work, in Malawi. I do basically agriculture business. That's what I'm doing. It's completely opposite of my character, but I love it, and probably that stays in my blood since I was in the Moshav. And I feel great anytime I'm going to visit my farm. And recently I took my brother, that is younger than me, I took him to visit the farm, and we all play like kids on the tractor, like it's our first time that we are working in the farm. It was great. It's a great feeling to go back to the Moshav time. From 1992 until 2018, until August 2018 I think, I was serving as a special agent for the United States Justice Department, for different agency. In the beginning, I worked for the FBI in the United States. Then I was transferred to the DEA, and later on, in the year early 2004, 2005, 2006, when they built the narco-terrorism unit at the DEA, I was assigned to that unit as a special agent, a free agent. So that means that I'm in their network. If there is any job they need me to do, they call me, or first of all, they contact Israel. Israel contact me. The authorities in Israel contacting me. They say, hey, the American like to talk to you about something. And I go, I meet them. If it's okay for me, if the timing is okay for me, with them. I wrote a book not to sell it and to have just for myself. And actually, the whole book is about putting together some notebooks that I was writing during the time I was working. And it came time that I didn't know what to do with that. And I found a young writers, and she put it together, let's say like that. She put it together. It's not a great book writing, but it's a book that's telling the story. Then I translate that book to English, and I use one of the best translator in Israel that was recommended to me by a good friend of mine, Ben Kaspi. And she did a great job. And she translate the book and also edit the book in a way that can be read very nicely in English. And so I have two versions, one in Hebrew and one in English. And the main story of the book is what I did. I tell story. There is 10 chapters, I think, in the book, 9 or 10 chapters. Each chapter is one of the operation I did for the American, or sometimes for task force, when there is more than one unit that doing the operation. So we use it as a task force. I know it's long to talk, but I wanted to take maybe one chapter of the book and tell you about it in my way to tell you about it, because I pick up that chapter because there is inside everything. So there is America, Europe, Israel, Africa, South America. Everything is combined in one chapter, and that chapter is an operation we did in 2013. It's finished in 4th of April 2013. It started almost a year before, about 8 months before. The story is very simple. DEA, it starts like that. A DEA helicopter was shot down in Colombia, and some agent, the agent was killed in that shooting. And after conducting an investigation, deep investigation inside the area where the helicopter was shot, they found out that the terrorist or the PATH activist that pulled down or shoot down the helicopter was using ammunition that was sold in the base to a country in Africa called Guinea-Bissau. As you know, to buy a Sterella, or to buy a RPG, or to buy a missile, you need to have a end user certificate that is issued by a country. The country can buy it and then sell it to them. So they went down, they went to in their investigation, and they found out that an admiral in Guinea-Bissau that did a few months before, did a coup d'etat, and he killed brutally, he killed the president that was there before. He turned his country to a terror camp. So people was coming from all over the world to get training there. Even the Hamas was going there, the Hezbollah was going there, the Al-Qaeda was there, the PATH from South America was there, or Colombia was there. And what he was to do, he used to trade arms with coke. And then he was selling the coke all over the place, in Africa, in Europe, and sometimes also he had some shipment to the United States. So he was a big trafficker of drugs, arms, and the only thing he cared, it's about money to be stronger and stronger and stronger. The United States, together with Israel and with the British and with the French, they decided to stop that operation. And then they build what we call a task force. They build a force that will be combined with some people, experts from the organization they are in contact with, and they start to build a team. The team was start to build in the embassy, United States Embassy in Portugal, in Lisbon. Why Portugal? Because in that time, Portugal and Guinea-Bissau had very good relationship. And it's two countries that speak Portuguese. So it was in Lisbon. One day I get a call from my handler, Rick, and he says, Nir, can you come to Portugal to meet me? We need to talk. It's okay, let's go. I'll come, like usual. I take a plane, I fly to Portugal. In that time, I was with my wife in London, and I asked her to stay in London. I have to go to Portugal. I went to Portugal, and I met a huge team of people there. And he says, don't be scared, something big going on, and we want you to take part of it. So I understood everyone in the team what he's doing. I still didn't understand what I'm doing there. I understood there is a guy that is a pilot, is a helicopter pilot. There is a guy who is specialized in fast boat. There is a guy who is good in electronics, everything. I understood. And I said, okay, so why you need me? He says, we need you as a magnet. I say, a magnet? I say, yes. So we want you to fly to Guinea-Bissau. We want to introduce you to the leader there, to the Admiral. to apply and to get his trust, and then to convince him to go out of Guinea-Bissau, to meet you somewhere in the territorial, outside of the territorial water of Guinea-Bissau. And once he's there, we know what to do. But to bring him there, we need to make it clean, because as you probably some of you knows, if you take someone against his will outside of the country where he is, you kidnap him. And no judge in New York or in Washington or any place will allow you to prosecute him. So it has to be outside of the water of, and it has to be in his own will. It has to be on his own will. Anyway, we start to plan, and we had an agent on ground. His name was Pedro, and Pedro was married to one of the relatives of the late president that was killed by this guy. And Pedro went to the embassy of the United States in Senegal, and he said, "Look, my name is Pedro. I'm married to the daughter of this minister. He was Minister of Defense. And this general killed my brother-in-law, and I want to revenge on him. And I'm willing to be your agent to go against him." So they check him. They saw that he is okay, and they put him inside the deal. And now Pedro is my liaison in Bissau, in Guinea-Bissau. So I flew there the first time. I meet Pedro, and Pedro already organized a meeting with the general with me. He said, it's a big man coming from Israel. He's a multimillionaire. He have a lot of money. He want to look for a petroleum in our country. And against that, he's willing to give you money. He's willing to give you uniform, anything you need. So the guy was excited to meet me, and he said, bring him over. Of course, I flew there with the private jet and make all the feeling that he's dealing with a big millionaire guy. I came down, and they took me to his palace. It's not his palace. It was like his base, his military base. And I can't forget the first day I was there, and it was early in the morning. Because I arrived at night, and in the morning, they took me to see him. And in the morning, early, like 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm coming to meet him. And as I'm going there was like stairs that going up, and I can see from the top of the stair down, the pickup, like 4 or 5 pickup was standing there with bodies, with part of bodies of people. People was devil was there. I really like, you're coming to the center of the devil. And I'm walking up with my suit, with my tie, very nice, elegant. I'm going up, and I meet the general. The general is looking at me, first of all, from the bottom to the top, and he's looking here and there. And then he starts to talk to me. He says, I heard you are an Israeli commando. I say, I'm also this if you want. And he says, listen, I need from Israel uniform, and I need some shoes for my army. We don't have, you see my soldiers going barefoot. He forgot to say that he's eating all the money, so he doesn't have money to tell to his soldier, but he's taking all the money. So I told him, of course, no problem. I can get you what you need. I will bring what you need. And that was the first meeting. And we decided we're going to meet him again in about a week or two. I came back to Lisbon. I report about the meeting. Everybody was happy that I met him. I saw him. Everything was okay. Now, second meeting, he want to meet me, and the American, not only the American, also the British came with an idea. They said, listen, we don't have a picture of him, and we don't have any way to track him because he never take on himself any phones. We need to find a way to track him. We need to find a way to get a picture of him. So a very nice guy from France called JJ. He says, I have an idea. He said, what? He said, why don't we, if we give him a present? I know the president in Africa, they all like watches. What if we buying a nice watch We put whatever we need inside, and at least for the time that we work on it, we will have, because there is a problem with the battery. The battery doesn't stay long if you use it a lot, but it can stay enough if you use it right. So I say, what about if we give him a watch that he will like very much, and definitively he will wear it, so we can know where he is all the time. They agree with that. They went to Hublot. They bought a beautiful gold watch, pink gold, last model of Hublot, and they put inside, I don't know what, but something they need to put inside. And they say, okay, now you put the watch on you, and you go to see him. Try to get him like the watch. And then next time when you come, you will give him the watch as a present. I said, okay. I fly, I meet him, and one of the conversation, I say, my general, I have to say thank you to you. He said, why? I said, because of you, I bought in the duty free in Zurich, I bought a beautiful watch, and I like it very much. It's look beautiful. What do you think about that? He looked at the watch and said, wow, this is really beautiful. This is amazing. He called his guy. He said, look, the watch you bought. I said, I just bought it now. Look, the sticker is still in the back. And I said, look, how beautiful is it, man? He's very exciting about the watch. And then I told him, listen, I can see you like it very much. He said, yes, but this is too expensive for me. I said, you don't need to buy. Next time I come, I bring you one exactly like that for you to have. He says, no, it's too much money. It's too much. It's costing too much. I says, listen, between you and me, what is a watch? Why not? We are friends. He hugged me. He was happy. I says, you know what? Before I leave, let me see the measure of your hand. So I will not make a mistake. I will take off the link if there is link to take off. Exact. So I give him my watch that I knew it was perfect for him. I said, try that watch. We tried the watch, and it's perfect for me. I said, wow, that's exactly the size of your hand. He says, yes, I like it very much. And he called the guy. He said, look how beautiful is the watch. And I said, really, the watch is beautiful. And then I says, you know what? I'm going back to Zurich. Keep the watch. I go back. I buy myself a new one. He says, no, this is you. I don't feel. I said, come on, it's new. Instead for you to wait until I come back, you get it, and I will bring it back. He was so happy. I said, but I have one request. He said, what? He says, when I bought the watch, I talked to my wife, and I told her I bought a watch for myself. If I don't come with that home, she will start to ask questions. I want to make a picture with you with the watch and prove to her that I give it to you. He said, no problem. He stand up, I took my iPhone, and I make a picture, a selfie picture with him in the watch. Now, two things I achieved. A, finally, we have a picture of him, actual picture, because 4 years he didn't take a picture. Secondly, we know where he is, at least for the time of the operation. Now, we have the watch, everybody is happy. I'm coming back to Lisbon, and everybody is happy. And now there is a deadline. We have to take him off. We wanted to take him off before the new Independence Day, what they call the Day of the Revolution. He wanted to do after a year of revolution. He wanted to do like new Independence Day. So we say we have to take him off before that. So we start to prepare the operation. The operation was saying like that. I will tell him that I have the uniform and the money, because he needed money also, about €500,000. I will tell him I have the money and I have the uniform. I will come close to the coast of Guinea-Bissau. You will come to me to meet me outside of the territorial water, because now he says, why outside? You can come inside. I will receive you in the port. I says, no, my yacht is very expensive, very, very expensive. And my insurance, if I go into Guinea-Bissau, they will alarm everybody that I was kidnapped to Guinea-Bissau, because in that time, there was problem in Guinea-Bissau. Nobody was going there. So I says, everybody will alarm. If I drive close to you, you just come, it's 25 minutes You meet me, you take whatever you need to take, and I continue because on the slot, I put I'm going to Liberia. Liberia was further south from Guinea-Bissau. So he says, you know what? Okay. And I said, told him, you know what? You don't need even to bring your boat. We have on the boat, on my boat, on my yacht, I have a tender. Tender is a small boat where I can put 5, 6 people. They said the tender is very speed. He will come, he pick you up, and you come to the boat. He agreed. We start the operation. To make that operation work, we open what we call a chamber of command, a front
Back
command
office
chamber.
management, maybe.
It's a front, it's like a front commandment. I לא יודע איך אומרים לזה חמ"ל, אבל a front command in a small group of islands called Cape Verde. Cape Verde is on the Atlantic Ocean, not too far from Guinea-Bissau, and it was close for us because there the yacht came there from Miami, Florida. Beautiful yacht with 2 Jet Pro engine that very, very sophisticated yacht, where I was carrying that yacht to come close to Guinea-Bissau. And inside that yacht, we had out of all the agents from the DEA, the agent from the MI6 we had there too. We had the people from the DSD, the French Secret Service. And then we had also 17 Navy SEAL, full equipped, that they came on the yacht in case we run to trouble. So we will have the cover of the Navy SEAL. They all came from Pakistan. They came from Pakistan. They made the operation. They went back to Pakistan. They told me, "You going back home? I'm going back to Pakistan." But that's their job. So so we had a lot of people on the yacht. The yacht is big, and the tender was on the with us also, and we start the operation. As soon as we leave Cape Verde, we had a problem on the engine. So we had to come back, and the engine is very sophisticated. There is only one guy in Fort Lauderdale that know how to take care of that engine. There's a problem with the turbo. That's what I remember. So they flew the jet to Fort Lauderdale to pick up the part and come back. But I make a pause now. 2 days before Leila Seder, Pesach, our Passover, 2 days before, I was supposed to be home. The operation supposed to be finished, and I was supposed to be home. And I invite about, I think, 20 or 25 people to my home for Leila Seder. And certainly, the boat is booked, and we had about 4 days delay. So we had to bring the part, to put the part, to test the boat that everything is okay. So we had a delay of 4 days, and I had to cancel coming to Leila Seder. It was a big drama in the house, and the leader in Guinea-Bissau, the general, was very, very upset. So my handler, Melissa Nir, we had a meeting, and we discussed with Washington, because in Washington they had also a command room. They said, we discussed with Washington, you have to go and meet him to relax him. Only if he sees you, only if you talk to him, he will relax, because they listen also to other conversation he was making, and he was very, very insecure that I'm going to come. And me, when I left him the last time, I was so happy because I'm not coming here anymore, and certainly I find myself need to fly there again. So I take a plane and I fly there. I'm flying there, and usually when I'm arriving there, there is a team from the general that's coming to meet me. This time, nobody's waiting for me at the airport. I'm landing about 11 o'clock at night. No one is waiting for me in the airport. And one of the signs in Africa, maybe some of you that knows Africa, one of the way to finish you in Africa is not to wait for you at the airport. Let you take a cab that designed to pick you up from the airport. And then on the way, to make it seems like you was robbed or something bad happened to you. And the next day they found you in the river. Let's say a businessman came to Guinea and he died in the river. I know that. So as soon as I saw that no one is waiting for me, I understood. I thought I understood. And instead to go out from the arrival side, I took stairs and I went to the departure side, where cab was taking off passenger that coming to fly. So I waited until a cab arrived. As soon as the cab arrived and a passenger took off the cab, I went into the cab. And I said, can you take me to a nice hotel here? So then he says the name of the hotel where I'm supposed to go anyway. I says, no, don't take me there. Take me to a different one, something better. He says, this is the best. I said, take me something less good than this one. So he took me to something else. And I closed down, of course, all my phones and everything. I shut down all communication. And I says, I will pass the night. And then in my mind, I already start to plan how I'm running away, how I'm going to Senegal, to Dakar, was close to there, how I'm taking a cab, and I'm driving there, a full scenario. Around 6 o'clock in the morning, I said I will open the phone to see if the American hear anything. So as soon as I open my satellite phone, I got a phone call from my handler. He said, where are you? I told him I am in a hotel. I am okay. I'm safe, but nobody came to pick me up in the airport. And I think we should think differently. We should change the plane. He says, no, relax. Pedro supposed to come and pick you up from the airport with the soldier, but he had an accident. And that's why he didn't come. Everything is okay. They're waiting for you. Don't be worried. Nothing happened. Just everything is okay. I said, okay, so talk to Pedro. Tell him to pick me up from the same hotel where we're supposed to be. So I checked out quick, went to the hotel where I supposed to be there staying. And at 8 o'clock, I met Pedro in the lobby. And I said, Pedro, I'm ready. Let's go to the general. Then I go to meet the general. The general is very upset. He said, what's going on? Where is my uniform? Where is my money? In 4 or 5 days, I have Independence Day. And I say, Chief, everything is here. Give me 3-4 days. They're already on the way from Malaga. They're on the way from Spain, and they're supposed to be here in 3, maximum 4 days. We will be here in your place. So you sure? I said 100%. Okay. He hugged me. I hug him. We're happy. I fly back, and really, they fix the boat, and we start to go. We're arriving to the point where we communicate with him that this is the point to be picked up. We send the tender. He asked me to send the tender, so we send the tender with JJ. JJ is this French guy, and he's the only one between all of us that he doesn't need any arm to fix any problem he have, even if he have 5, 6, 10 people in the boat. So he is very, very, very trained in martial art, and he doesn't need any arm. Everything for him is an arm, everything. And we send him. So we send him there, and he's arriving there, and a few minutes later, he said, I'm on my way back. But this time, he says, the boss is not here. I'm with 5 officers, but the boss is not here. So we understood that the general did not board on the tender. We understood that maybe send them to check if everything is kosher before he's coming. This is one of the ways to be careful. So I received them because everybody else was hiding in the boat. Everybody was hiding in the engine everywhere. They see the captain, and they see another woman that she was the pilot of the aircraft. She came with us to show, nice woman in the boat, so everything is nice. And they're coming up to the boat with Kalashnikov, and I receive them. I give them whiskey to drink. They look around. They was impressed by the size of the boat, the beauty of the boat. They drink whiskey, and they finish the bottle of whiskey in 5 minutes. And then I give to each one of them a small envelope, and they open and they see money. They say, "Oh my God, you think about us?" I said, "Of course. You know, I know that if the general will be here, you will not get a penny." He said, "Yes, that's right. Thank you to thinking about it." And I told them, "You see, there was a box of banana. You remember this boxes in cartoon? If they will open the box, they will shoot me. But they didn't open. So you see those boxes? This is all the uniform for you." He said, "Great. I'm so happy." So I said, "When the boss is coming, after you leave, I have another envelope for you." So they hugged me. They was happy. They took themselves half drunk in the tender, and they went to say to the boss that everything is kosher. They're coming back. He says, "The boss, listen, yes, Nir is there. We saw the uniform. We saw the money. We saw everything. You can go. You're safe." Okay, so the general. Okay, it's happened like that. After they came back, this is more colder. They after the JJ took them back to the shore, we lost control from him. There was no control. We lost radio, and they start to call him JJ. JJ is not answering on the radio. We was on channel 16, so he didn't answer. He didn't answer. And the people in the boat start to be nervous. They say something happened to him and we cannot learn. Then they contact Washington. They say, "Washington, we lost JJ, we lost contact." Washington says very clear, "Stay 5 more minutes. If he doesn't contact you in 5 minutes, just start to leave the place and start to go back to Cape Verde." And I said, "Listen, this is JJ. This is one of us. We cannot leave him here." Well, nice guy, 65 years old, but look like 35 years. So we wait, keeping calling. 5 minutes pass. He didn't answer. And then the head of the operation giving instruction to the captain to start the engines. And I says to the guy, "Listen, why? Are you afraid from what? Then give him another 10 minutes. Maybe something is wrong with the radio. Maybe he's still there waiting for something. Give him 10 more minutes. What you are afraid? We are here strong. Nobody can touch us. We have arms. We have energy to survive. We are strong. Imagine if we leave and then his elder will eat him." He said, "Okay, I give you 5 more minutes." I says, "Not 10. He says, "No, I cannot give you more than 5. After 5 minutes, you start the engine." I say, "If you don't give me 5 more minutes, I'm jumping to the water." He said, "What?" I say, "Yeah, I'm waiting for JJ on the water." He said, "Nir, you are really completely out of your mind. How can you say that to me? How can you?" I said, "Listen, I know one thing, loyalty, you don't leave anyone here for no reason. I mean, I didn't hear any booms or any shooting or anything that have to be afraid. Maybe you have a problem of engine problem. So we are here to help him." Okay, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes later, JJ is calling on the radio. "Hey guys, I'm on my way. Everything is okay. Number 1 is with me on the boat. The general is with me on the boat. Everybody is happy. They're calling Washington. JJ is on the way." And I said, "Tell them that you didn't start." You know, I said to the commander, I said, "Tell them you didn't start the engine after 5 minutes." He said, "No, it's okay. Forget about it." The general is coming, and of course, once the general, I didn't see him. I was in my room, down in my room. I saw him from the window of my room, climbing up to the boat. Because he came with other 3 people. So when they came, the Navy SEAL jump on them. They put him on the floor. They put him yelling everywhere, and he was completely shocked. He didn't believe that what's happened. Of course, we drove from there with the boat to Cape Verde. We arrived to Cape Verde. From the port of Cape Verde, they put him straight in the aircraft. He flew to New York. I was still in Cape Verde when I saw the press conference with the Attorney General, with the State Attorney of New York, when he say we have, and all the CNN, all the news, one of the bigger operation ever made by the joint staff. And it was great. I mean, it was a great feeling to see that it's over and it's done. And then I went to the hotel to pack my stuff in Cape Verde and to go back. My flight was back to Lisbon, I think at 11 o'clock at night. At 7 o'clock, I was already at the airport. I went to fly so badly. At 7 o'clock, I was in the airport. At maybe 8, they opened the check-in. I was the first one in the check-in to walk into I did check-in, and I went to the duty-free. There was a small cafeteria. I was sitting there and drinking coffee. But I could see from there the passport control, all the passport control. And certainly around 9 o'clock, I see a group of policemen and some people with civil uniform that come into the passport control, and I can see the people at the passport control standing back and saluting the guys. So I understood is they are important people. So I was looking, and I had the feeling that they came in for me. And I started to be, not scared, but to be worried. I knew that it will be fixed, but I wanted to go home. I didn't want to be stuck in Cape Verde until it's fixed. And I can see one of them that I saw somewhere with the American when the American was in the port. He was there and talking to them. I didn't talk to him because they keep me aside all the time. They didn't want me to be with anyone. So I saw him, and he's speaking to the guy in the passport control, and the guy in the passport control turned and say, he pointing the duty free. Like I already passed, I went to the duty free. So I can see they coming for me. They coming, they came into the coffee shop, and I was sitting there, and he says, "Hello, sir." I say, "Hello." I say, "You are the Israeli guy, right?" I say, "Yes, sir." He says, "Can I ask you a favor?" I say, "What?" He said, "Can you take a picture with all of us?" It's the first time we had an Israeli Mossad agent in our island. He said, "We want to have a picture." I said, "Wait, I'm not Mossad, I'm not the agent." He says, "No, we know, we are from Israel. It's the first time we have someone from Israel in our island. Can you take a picture with us?" So then my blood pressure went down. I was relaxed, and I took a picture. And they told me how this is bad from Gilead. This is to push myself from that operation completely, and they pushed me back inside. They said, "No, we know from the first day that you are here, that you are from Israel, because we pick you up from the airport. We knew that you are coming to the airport." So that was very nice, and it took me. And I know someone told me. I mean, my handler went to see him to give him like a gift for his help for the president, and he saw my picture with his officer in his office, big picture, standing there in the airport. So it was a nice experience. And of course, I came home, and then we had second holiday of Pesach. Then all the family came, and they see that I'm not in jail, because they used to say to my wife, "Something happened to me. He's in jail. Something happened to him. He's in hospital." So he says no, and I came back, and everything was okay. And of course, I had to tell the family why I didn't come. And And that's it. That's very short. 8 months I put in 25 minutes. 25, yeah, more. I put 8 months in 40 minutes. That's the best I could do, and I will be more than happy to answer any question you have in case, if I can, but I think I can answer most of my questions. Everything is in the book.
Thank you, Nir. You're all muted, so just unmute yourself if you want to ask a question. Okay, I will ask the first one. Nir, can you please tell us briefly, shortly, and what other famous operations you took part in?
Yeah.
Just name
Okay.
dropping.
First operation I did was the operation I did. It was in Colombia, where I sold 2 submarine, yellow submarine that I bought from Elat. No, not from Elat, from the dealer that sold to Elat for Pablo Escobar. 2 submarine that was something beginning 92. Then a second operation I did, another operation I did when we catch Mr. De La Rue. De La Rue was a very, very, very bad drug dealer in Philippines, and he wanted to open an operation of drugs in Liberia. He was very active in Somalia. When they destroyed his operation in Somalia, he moved to Liberia, and I was the one that helped to arrest him in Liberia. Then I made a very nice operation following uranium that was left over by an American company out of Washington State. In Washington State, it was an American company that was mining uranium in Congo. And when Mobutu left Congo, they left over six units, okay, of uranium in Congo, in a city called Lubumbashi, close to the area where is the mining. And I had to go there and work the new president to get that uranium back. The object is still in London. Is fighting his extradition to United States. I helped the British Secret Service and the American DEA to catch one very important person called the Sultan. The Sultan was arrested, I think, in August 2018 in London, and that was my last operation. And he's still there, he's still fighting his extradition, and that was the last one I did. There was also small operation here and there that didn't get a big news coverage, but most of the operation I'm talking to was in the news. And
I want to add a question that
basically big operation. Mm-hmm.
I want to ask a question that Tali asked in the chat. Can you fly freely? Aren't you afraid to be exposed?
No, I can fly freely, and I'm flying almost every week when I can. Not since the corona, but before the corona, I'm flying everywhere. I'm not exposed, and it's a great question that I always get that question, and I like to answer. You know, for policemen, if you drive 180 kilometers an hour, and a policeman stops you in the street and give you a ticket, you don't go behind him. You must understand, I was never part of the organization I put in jail. I was always part of the law enforcement. So usually once they get cut, they say, okay, me of the, it's not that I was part of a Bebenotio operation, and now I changed. I went to the police and I said, okay, let me help you to get. I was never part of Pablo Escobar organization. I was never part of any other organ or the Sultan organization. I came to the picture always after there was a grand jury indictment already. So I always came to the picture when everything is set to put him in jail. No, I was not part, and so they see as a policeman. They see me as the agent that put the handcuff on him. They see me and him together. So I don't have any fear. And most of the people that I put in jail, or they're dead, or they are in jail for the rest of their life. So there is no one that was arrested and they say, oh, thank you so much. Sorry, it was not you, it was somebody else. No, the people that was arrested, they will be probably in jail for the rest of their life. And that's why, and you know what? It's part of the risk of the job that you take. You know, you can, yes, I'm looking under my car every day. Yes, I'm not parking my car in any place that there is no security. Yes, I'm taking a precaution for myself. I'm traveling, I'm always in my way. Want to know who is sitting close to me in the airplane. I want to know, I always look, if I go to a restaurant, I never book a restaurant up front. I always come in a restaurant when I want to eat, I go to the restaurant and always the same question, you have a reservation? I never have a reservation, but usually that's the way I do, but it's a way of living. I don't have any problem with that. And I can fly everywhere. You know what? Even in Guinea-Bissau, I am much welcome now. Since then, the new election, they had the election of democratic election, a few multi-party system. They love me to come back and be there. And I fly to Africa always. People knows that, okay, I'm connected to the US Embassy, or I'm connected to the Israeli government, but it doesn't hurt me. Contrarily, they have more the feeling that I do really good with them. So that's my answer.
Any last question? Okay, so Nir, thank you very much again. We really appreciate that. I hope that you were impressed of the story as I was. And I want to say a few words about our next lunch and conversation next week in June 24 with Dr. Arya Beldegrin. Dr. Arya Beldegrin is the chairman of the American Friends of Unit 669. He was the commander of the medical evacuation unit before it called 669. He's the founder and the CEO of Kite Pharma that was sold to Gilead last year in $12 billion. He's the executive chairman of Allogene Therapeutics and the co-founder and senior managing partner of Vida Venture. And he will talk about how we can apply our learning from cancer research to fighting COVID-19. So stay tuned. We'll send you this conversation right after it's finished, and the invitation and the link for next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.